Welcome, dear listener, to The Sleepy Scholar. Tonight, we embark on a gentle journey through the quiet corridors of the human mind. As you settle into this moment, allow yourself to drift into the soothing realm of psychology, a landscape where thoughts bloom like midnight flowers, where memories shimmer like distant stars, and where the simple act of understanding ourselves becomes a pathway to peace. Have you ever wondered why certain moments feel suspended in time, or why a familiar scent can transport you instantly to a summer afternoon from decades past? The mind is not merely a thinking machine. It is a storyteller, a guardian of who we are, and tonight, we explore its gentlest mysteries together. If this journey speaks to your curious heart, consider subscribing to The Sleepy Scholar. Let these stories become your companions in the quiet hours, your guides through the peaceful terrain of knowledge and wonder. Picture, if you will, the world at 2 in the morning. The day's demands have dissolved into darkness. The phone lies silent. The mind, no longer performing for an audience of obligations, begins to speak in its truest voice. There is something profound that happens to us when night descends. Psychologists have observed a curious phenomenon. People become more honest after sunset, not through any conscious decision, but through the gentle erosion of the walls we build during daylight hours. The mental filters that help us navigate social expectations begin to soften, like ice melting at the edges of a frozen lake. During the day, we engage in what researchers call self-monitoring, a constant, subtle performance where we adjust our words and actions to fit the moment. It is not dishonesty, precisely, but rather a necessary choreography of social life. Yet this dance requires energy, and as the hours pass, as darkness wraps around our windows, that energy naturally fades. In the intimate atmosphere of night, conversations deepen. Two people sitting together in low lamplight often find themselves sharing truths they might never voice in morning's bright examination. The night becomes a sanctuary for authenticity, a place where the heart speaks more freely than the careful, curated self. This is not weakness. It is simply the rhythm of human consciousness, ebbing and flowing with the cycle of day and night. And in recognizing this gentle truth, we might find compassion for ourselves and others, understanding that honesty blooms most naturally in quiet spaces. The scattered mind and the senses. We live in an age of divided attention, where screens glow with endless demands and our thoughts scatter like leaves in autumn wind. Perhaps you have experienced this. Reading a page only to realize you absorbed nothing, or finishing a conversation with only fragments remaining in memory. Multitasking, that modern virtue we're told to cultivate, carries a hidden cost. When we split our attention between tasks, our brain does not truly process multiple streams simultaneously. Instead, it switches rapidly between them. And in those switches, something precious is lost, the delicate thread of memory. Imagine trying to photograph a landscape while running. The images would blur, details would vanish. This is what happens to our memories when attention divides. The brain needs focus to encode experience into lasting recall, needs the unhurried moment of presence to transform passing events into permanent knowledge. Yet our minds respond to more than conscious thought. They are instruments played by senses we often overlook. Consider the power of touch, a hand on a shoulder, the weight of a warm blanket, the smoothness of worn wood beneath fingertips. Physical touch reaches into our emotional core without asking permission, releasing cascades of calming chemicals, quieting the anxious chatter of worry, reminding us that we are embodied creatures seeking connection and comfort. And scent, that most ancient of senses, winding directly into the brain's emotional centers, bypassing the usual gates of reason. A particular fragrance can resurrect entire worlds from memory's vault. The smell of rain on summer pavement, bread baking in a grandmother's kitchen, the specific combination of soap and cologne meant home. These sensory experiences shape our emotions and decisions in ways we rarely notice, gentle currents steering the ship of consciousness while we attend to other matters. The brain, in its wisdom, processes these streams constantly, weaving them into the fabric of each moment. The hidden language of the body. Beneath our words flows another conversation, silent but eloquent. We speak through the tilt of our heads, the crossing of arms, the minute adjustments of expression that flash across our faces faster than conscious thought. Psychologists call these micro-expressions, fleeting configurations of facial muscles that reveal emotions we may not wish to show or even know we feel. They appear and vanish in fractions of a second, too quick for most observers to consciously register, yet somehow still communicating truth. When someone crosses their arms while saying they're open to ideas, when a smile doesn't quite reach the eyes, when a voice rises slightly at the end of what should be a statement. These are the body's honest signals, the whispers beneath the spoken words. Learning to notice these signals, both in others and ourselves, opens doorways to deeper understanding. It cultivates what we might call embodied empathy, the recognition that we are always communicating, always broadcasting the weather of our inner lives through the subtle semaphore of gesture and expression. This awareness need not make us suspicious or calculating. Rather, it can deepen compassion, helping us recognize when someone's words and feelings diverge, when they perhaps need space to explore what they truly mean, when the brave face they're wearing needs acknowledgement and support. And smell, that ancient messenger, carries its own profound language. Among all our senses, it alone connects directly to the limbic system, the brain's emotional and memory centers. This is why scent possesses such startling power to transport us through time. A whiff of pine can recreate Christmas mornings from childhood with such vividness that for a moment, we are truly there again, young and full of wonder. The ocean's salt spray resurrects entire summers. A lover's perfume, encountered years later by chance, brings flooding back every feeling, every moment, every quiet joy and sorrow of that chapter. The brain stores these olfactory memories differently than other experiences, binding scent to emotion with unbreakable threads. To breathe deeply, then, is to open oneself to the past, to all the beautiful and difficult moments that shaped us, carried forever in fragrance's invisible library. Dreams and the architecture of awareness. As we drift towards sleep each night, we approach one of consciousness's most mysterious territories, the realm of dreams. For most people, dreams are passive experiences, strange films projected on the mind screen while the body rests. But for some, something remarkable occurs. Lucid dreaming, the phenomenon of becoming aware that you are dreaming while still asleep, opens extraordinary possibilities. In this state, the dreamer becomes an active participant, able to explore detailed mental worlds with full consciousness, to practice skills, to engage in creative problem-solving unconstrained by physical laws. Athletes have used lucid dreaming to rehearse complex movements. Artists have explored impossible landscapes for inspiration. Scientists have worked through theoretical problems in the limitless laboratory of the sleeping mind. The brain, it seems, makes little distinction between vividly imagined experiences and actual ones when it comes to building neural pathways and strengthening skills. But perhaps the greatest gift of lucid dreaming is simpler: the profound sense of freedom it brings, the reminder that consciousness itself is more fluid and vast than our waking hours might suggest. To fly through dream skies, to reshape reality with intention, to explore the infinite mansion of your own mind. This is to touch something fundamental about human potential. Yet even in ordinary waking life, we possess tools for reshaping experience. Gratitude, that simple practice of acknowledging what is good, works quiet magic on the brain and body. When we actively notice things we're thankful for, the warmth of morning sunlight, a friend's laughter, the taste of food we enjoy, we trigger measurable changes in our biochemistry. Stress hormones decrease. The immune system strengthens. Neural pathways associated with positive emotion become more robust, making it easier to find joy over time. Gratitude is not about denying difficulty or pretending pain doesn't exist. Rather, it's about training attention, teaching the mind to notice the light as well as the shadows. And this practice, simple as it seems, can transform our relationship with life itself, helping us navigate hardship with greater resilience and appreciate beauty with deeper satisfaction. The mind shapes the body's response to circumstance in ways both subtle and profound. This becomes especially clear when we consider optimism's influence on physical health. The healing power of perspective. Those who face illness or injury with hopeful expectations often recover more quickly than those who expect the worst. This is not mere wishful thinking or positive thinking platitudes. It is measurable biological reality. Optimistic individuals maintain lower rates of chronic illness, heal faster after surgery, and even live longer on average than their pessimistic counterparts. The mechanisms are complex but clear. A positive outlook reduces stress responses, which in turn supports immune function. It encourages healthy behaviors, as people who believe in positive outcomes are more likely to take actions that support them. And it fosters social connection, as hopeful people tend to build stronger support networks. None of this means optimism prevents all suffering or that illness reflects some failure of attitude. Life brings challenges regardless of perspective. But the way we mentally frame those challenges influences how our bodies respond, how we cope, and what resources we can marshal in difficult times. This reveals something beautiful about human resilience, that we are not passive victims of circumstance but active participants in our own experience, able to influence our journey through the stories we tell about what befalls us. Sometimes, though, the mind plays curious tricks that remind us how constructed our experience truly is. Déjà vu, that eerie sensation of having lived this exact moment before, emerges when the brain's recognition systems misfire slightly. New experiences trigger patterns that match stored memories, creating the uncanny feeling of familiarity where none should exist. It's a glitch in the matrix of consciousness, a glimpse behind the curtain showing us that what we call now is really a construction, the brain's best guess at assembling sensory input into coherent experience. And anxiety, that unwelcome companion so many of us know, actually changes how we speak. When the ancient fight or flight response activates, our speech quickens, words tumbling out faster as the body prepares for danger. We may not notice this shift consciously, but listeners often do, picking up on the subtle acceleration that signals inattention. Understanding these phenomena doesn't make them disappear, but it can soften their power. To know that déjà vu is simply neural pattern matching gone awry, that rapid speech reflects biological stress responses rather than personal failing. This knowledge offers gentle compassion for our imperfect, fascinating minds. The invisible threads between us. Yawning is contagious. You likely know this from experience. Seeing someone yawn often triggers your own. But did you know this phenomenon reveals something profound about human connection? Research shows that contagious yawning spreads more readily among close friends and family members than among strangers. The stronger our bond with someone, the more likely their yawn will trigger ours. This suggests that yawning serves as a form of unconscious empathy, a biological echo of another's state. Some scientists believe this reflects ancient neural systems for social bonding, mechanisms that help groups synchronize their states and maintain cohesion. To yawn when another yawns is to acknowledge, on a primal level, our shared experience, our common humanity. It is a small thing, perhaps, but small things often carry great meaning. In the contagion of yawning, we see evidence that we are not isolated islands of consciousness but rather nodes in a vast network of connections, constantly influencing and being influenced by those around us. This interconnection extends to our emotional lives in ways both obvious and subtle. When we feel distressed, when worries circle like birds of prey, sometimes the most powerful remedy is to translate those swirling feelings into words on paper. Writing about emotions doesn't just express them, it transforms them. The act of putting feelings into language engages different neural pathways than simply experiencing them. It creates distance, allows perspective, and quite literally reduces the mental strain of holding everything inside. Researchers have found that expressive writing improves immune function, reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety, and helps people process trauma. The page becomes a companion, a witness that doesn't judge, a space where we can be fully honest without fear of consequence. And once emotions are written, once they're outside us in concrete form, the brain can release some of its grip, free up cognitive resources for other tasks. This is why journaling before bed often improves sleep. Worries trapped in the mind keep us wakeful, but worries placed on paper can finally rest. Memory's selective light. Not all experiences lodge equally in memory's vault. Emotionally charged events, moments of great joy or sorrow, fear or excitement, imprint themselves far more deeply than neutral occurrences. This makes evolutionary sense. Our ancestors needed to remember what threatened them, what nourished them, and what brought pleasure or pain. A memory without emotional content is like a photograph without light. Present, perhaps, but not vivid, not immediately accessible when needed. This is why we remember where we were during momentous events, why first kisses and profound losses stay fresh decades later, while countless ordinary days blur together into vague impressions. Emotion acts as a highlighter, marking certain experiences as important, worthy of preservation. But this system, useful as it is, also means we don't perceive reality as it objectively exists. Instead, we construct reality through the filter of our assumptions, expectations, and past experiences. Consider change blindness, the phenomenon where people fail to notice even significant alterations in a scene when those changes occur during a visual interruption. In experiments, researchers have had entire buildings disappear from photographs between one viewing and the next, yet observers often miss the change entirely. This reveals that perception is not a camera recording of objective truth but rather a construction, the brain's interpretation stitched together from fragments of sensory input, assumptions filling gaps we don't consciously register. We see not what is, but what we expect to see, what fits our mental models of how the world should be. This has profound implications. It means two people can witness the same event and come away with genuinely different understandings, both sincere in their perception. It suggests humility is warranted in our certainties, that remaining open to alternative perspectives isn't weakness but wisdom. And it points to a curious possibility, that by changing our expressions, we might actually shift our emotions. The wisdom of the body. The facial feedback hypothesis proposes that our expressions don't just reflect emotions, they help create them. When you smile, even if artificially, the physical act triggers neural pathways that release mood-enhancing chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. This doesn't mean we can simply grin away genuine distress, but it suggests that our bodies and minds exist in constant conversation, each influencing the other in an endless feedback loop. A slumped posture can deepen sadness. Standing tall can genuinely boost confidence. The body is not merely a vessel for consciousness but an active participant in creating our experience. This same principle extends to attraction and connection. What draws us to certain people while leaving us indifferent to others involves complex subconscious associations we're barely aware of. Attraction emerges from a blend of instinct and experience, biological drives meeting personal history, unconscious pattern matching that seeks specific combinations of features, personality traits, and indefinable chemistry. We might tell ourselves we're making rational choices about who interests us, but beneath conscious thought, ancient systems are at work, seeking signs of compatibility, health, shared values, and that mysterious quality we call presence. Sometimes this alchemy creates instant chemistry, that rare feeling of having known someone forever within minutes of meeting. Other times, attraction builds slowly, revealing itself gradually as we discover layers of compatibility. Both paths are valid, and both reflect the mind's intricate process of evaluating potential connections. And when we do find ourselves deeply engaged in something, work, conversation, creative expression, we may enter what psychologists call flow states, the river of total immersion. Flow is that precious condition where challenge and skill align perfectly, where self-consciousness dissolves, where time seems to both stop and accelerate simultaneously. Hours pass like minutes. The boundary between self and activity blurs. There is only this moment, this task, this complete absorption. Athletes describe being in the zone. Artists speak of losing themselves in creation. Anyone engaged in demanding work they love has likely touched this state, where effort becomes effortless, where difficulty transforms into joy. Flow states are deeply satisfying, partly because they silence the constant chatter of self-reflection. The inner critic falls quiet. Anxiety about outcomes fades. There is only the doing, the pure engagement with what is before us. Creating conditions for flow, finding work that challenges without overwhelming, building skills that open doors to complexity, protecting time for deep focus, is one path toward a more fulfilling life. In flow, we touch something essential about human thriving, about what it means to be fully alive and present. But our experience is shaped not only by what happens within us, but by the social context that surrounds us. Consider how mood alters perception. When fearful, we see a threat in ambiguous situations. A dark parking lot becomes menacing rather than simply unlit. A stranger's glance feels hostile rather than neutral. The same external reality, filtered through different emotional states, becomes entirely different experiences. Conversely, positive emotions can enhance clarity and creativity. Joy opens us to possibility. Contentment allows us to notice details we'd otherwise miss. Love transforms ordinary moments into profound ones, imbuing simple acts with significance. This isn't just philosophical musing, it's observable in brain activity and behavior. Our emotional state literally shapes what we perceive and how we interpret it. Reality, in this sense, is not fixed and objective but fluid and subjective, colored by the weather of the inner world. The hidden currents of social life. Social dynamics add further complexity to this picture. The bystander effect, that troubling phenomenon where groups of people are less likely to help someone in distress than a single individual, reveals how responsibility diffuses in crowds. When many witnesses are present, each person assumes someone else will act. The larger the group, the smaller each person's felt obligation. This isn't callousness but rather a quirk of social psychology, the way individual agency weakens when spread across many people. Understanding this can empower us to overcome it. If you witness an emergency, act as if you are alone, as if help depends entirely on you. Don't wait for others to move first. In doing so, you often break the spell, and others then join you. One person's action creates permission for a collective response. And our emotions don't just influence our own perceptions. They ripple outward, affecting those around us. Calmness can be contagious. So can stress. When we enter a room radiating anxiety, others pick up on it, often unconsciously, and their own tension rises. When we embody peace, we create space for others to relax. This isn't about suppressing genuine feelings or maintaining false positivity. Rather, it's recognizing that we are always in dialogue with our environment, always participating in the creation of collective emotional atmosphere. Managing our inner state becomes an act of care not just for ourselves but for everyone our presence touches. Nostalgia, too, carries this interesting blend of emotion and physical sensation. When we remember the past with fondness, we don't just experience happy thoughts. We often feel physically warmer, more comfortable, more connected. Research has shown that nostalgic memories can literally make people perceive ambient temperature as warmer. The past becomes a blanket we wrap around ourselves, a source of comfort when present circumstances feel cold or uncertain. This reveals the deep integration of emotion, memory, and physical sensation, how thoroughly the psychological and physiological intertwine, how experiences of warmth and belonging exist not just as metaphors but as genuine somatic realities. The written word and the watching eye. Returning to the power of writing, there's something particularly potent about handwriting compared to typing. When we write by hand, we engage more deeply with the material. The slower pace, the physical act of forming letters, the direct connection between thought and paper, all of this creates richer encoding. Studies consistently show that students who take handwritten notes retain information better than those who type. The very constraints of handwriting, the inability to transcribe verbatim, the necessity of summarizing and synthesizing, force active processing that digital transcription bypasses. In an age of keyboards and screens, there's something almost radical about picking up a pen, about the quiet rebellion of slowing down enough to let ink flow across paper. It's a form of presence, a way of honoring both the information we're recording and the mind doing the recording. And just as writing engages us more deeply, the simple act of smiling, even when we don't initially feel happy, can genuinely improve our emotional state. The physical triggers the psychological. The body instructs the mind that perhaps things aren't so dire after all. This isn't about toxic positivity or denying genuine distress. But it suggests that sometimes, when we're stuck in a gray mood for no clear reason, taking a moment to smile, to stretch, to adopt an open posture might offer a gentle path toward feeling slightly better. The body is a wise teacher if we listen to its lessons. There's another curious way physical cues influence behavior, through the feeling of being watched. Researchers have found that simply placing images of eyes in a location increases honest and generous behavior. When we feel observed, even by a photograph, something ancient activates. Social instincts honed over millennia of living in tight-knit communities where reputation mattered for survival. These printed eyes can't actually see us, yet their presence evokes the sensation of accountability, and we unconsciously adjust our behavior accordingly. This mechanism likely evolved because, for most of human history, we lived under the constant gaze of our community. Anonymity is a relatively recent phenomenon. Our brains still operate on assumptions better suited to small bands of hunter-gatherers than to modern cities of millions. The spotlight we imagine. Speaking of feeling watched, most of us vastly overestimate how much others notice us. This is called the spotlight effect. The tendency to believe we're at the center of everyone's attention, that our awkward moments, our bad hair days, our small embarrassments are being observed and judged by everyone around us. In reality, most people are far too preoccupied with their own concerns to scrutinize ours. That thing you said that you've been mentally replaying with cringing regret? The other person likely forgot it within minutes, if they even registered it as awkward at all. Recognizing the spotlight effect can be profoundly liberating. It frees us from so much unnecessary social anxiety, allows us to take risks, to be ourselves without constant performance and self-monitoring. Other people are mostly thinking about themselves, just as we are. We're all protagonists of our own stories, not supporting characters in each other's dramas. This truth need not make us feel insignificant. Rather, it can help us relax into authenticity, to worry less about others' opinions and focus more on living according to our own values and desires. The necessary art of forgetting. We often think of memory as something to be maximized, forgetting as failure. But psychologists increasingly recognize that forgetting is not just inevitable, it's essential. If we remembered every trivial detail of every moment, our minds would be overwhelmed with irrelevant information. Forgetting outdated details creates space for new learning, allows us to focus on what matters now rather than drowning in the accumulated minutiae of the past. The brain actively prunes memories, keeping what seems important and letting the rest fade. This is not a flaw in the system but a feature, a necessary function that allows us to remain flexible, to adapt to changing circumstances, to not be imprisoned by outdated information. Think of forgetting as editing, the way a writer cuts unnecessary words to let the essential story shine through. Your brain performs this service constantly, sculpting your memory into a form that serves your present needs rather than merely cataloging everything that ever occurred. And beyond forgetting, the brain possesses neuroplasticity, the remarkable ability to change itself throughout life, forming new neural connections, adapting to new information, even recovering function after injury. This means we are not fixed at some point early in life, not locked into patterns established in youth. The brain remains dynamic, responsive, and capable of growth and change even in old age. Every experience, every practice, every new skill learned reshapes neural architecture in measurable ways. This is cause for hope, that we are not trapped by our past, that growth remains possible regardless of age, that the capacity to adapt and evolve is woven into our very neurology. The dance of groups. But neuroplasticity and individual psychology exist within social contexts that profoundly shape behavior. Group dynamics can enhance or diminish individual wisdom, depending on how they're structured. Conformity is a powerful force. When everyone around us expresses the same opinion, we feel pressure to agree even when our private judgment differs. This isn't just weakness, it's the same social instinct that usually serves us well, helping groups coordinate and maintain cohesion. But this force can lead us astray, suppressing valuable dissent, creating false consensus where genuine disagreement would be healthier. Recognizing this tendency is the first step to countering it. Encouraging diverse perspectives, making space for disagreement, building in moments of individual reflection before group decisions. These practices help harness collective wisdom while avoiding groupthink traps. In urgent situations, group dynamics manifest differently. Remember the bystander effect. How diffused responsibility in crowds reduces the likelihood of helping. But when you are the only witness, when the responsibility clearly falls on you alone, action becomes far more likely. This reveals something both troubling and hopeful about human nature. We are deeply social creatures, influenced by context and numbers in ways we don't fully control. But we're also capable of courageous action when circumstances call forth our individual agency. And in our personal interactions, we unconsciously mirror each other constantly. When someone gestures as they speak, we may find our hands moving in similar patterns. When they lean forward, we lean forward. This mirroring happens beneath conscious awareness and serves vital functions in building rapport and trust. Skilled communicators, therapists, and salespeople often use mirroring intentionally, knowing it creates subtle feelings of connection and understanding. But we all do this naturally with people we like, synchronizing our movements and speech patterns as if performing a choreographed dance of connection. Growing the mind. The brain's capacity for growth extends beyond abstract neural pathways into measurable physical changes. Studies have shown that learning to juggle, studying a new language, or even navigating complex virtual environments can increase the volume of specific brain regions associated with those skills. London taxi drivers, who must memorize thousands of streets and routes, develop enlarged hippocampi, the brain regions associated with spatial navigation. Musicians show enhanced development in areas involved with auditory processing and motor control. Medical students' brains physically change as they master complex anatomy and physiological systems. This is neuroplasticity made visible, the brain literally growing new structures in response to sustained challenge and practice. We are not born with fixed capacities but with potential that unfolds through engagement with the world. Even the environments where we study or work influence memory and learning. Changing locations while learning material creates unique retrieval cues associated with each place. This is why studying the same information in different rooms, in the library and at home, in the morning and evening, often leads to better recall than always studying in the same spot. The varied contexts become hooks on which memory hangs, multiple pathways back to the same information. This principle suggests that variety in learning conditions, not just repetition in identical circumstances, strengthens retention and flexibility. Time's elastic nature. Our perception of time itself is not constant but varies based on attention, emotion, and novelty. When we're engaged and enjoying ourselves, hours vanish like minutes. When we're bored or in pain, minutes stretch into hours. This temporal elasticity reflects how consciousness constructs experience. Time is not something we passively observe, but something we actively create through the lens of attention and feeling. A watched pot never boils, not because of any physical phenomenon, but because focused attention on empty waiting makes duration feel interminable. Conversely, when we're fully immersed in flow states, when consciousness merges with activity, time becomes irrelevant. We exited that state to discover hours had passed while we experienced what felt like moments. This suggests that clock time and experimental time are quite different phenomena, that our subjective experience has its own logic separate from the objective march of seconds and minutes. Memory adds another layer of temporal complexity. Research has shown that memories can be altered or even partially erased through targeted interventions during the reconsolidation process. The brief window when a recalled memory becomes temporarily malleable before being stored again. This raises profound questions about the nature of memory and identity. If memories can be changed, if the past as we remember it is not fixed but fluid, then what does that mean for the self we understand ourselves to be? We are, in many ways, stories we tell about who we've been. If those stories can shift, so too does our sense of self. The reconstructed past. The brain does not recall memories like playing back a video recording. Instead, it reconstructs them each time, assembling fragments into what seems like a complete picture. And in each reconstruction, small changes can occur, details added or subtracted, emotions shifted, interpretations altered. This is why eyewitness testimony, despite feeling certain, can be unreliable. It's why siblings remember the same childhood events quite differently. It's why your memory of a conversation may diverge significantly from the other person's recollection, even though both of you are being honest. We are not lying when our memories diverge from objective fact. We are simply experiencing the fundamental nature of human memory, that it is not a camera but a storyteller, crafting narratives that serve present needs as much as accurately recording the past. This same principle applies to perception more broadly. The brain fills in gaps constantly, creating the illusion of complete visual fields when, in fact, we only see details where we direct attention. The periphery is far blurrier and less detailed than we realize, but the brain smooths over these gaps, presenting us with a seamless experience. Optical illusions exploit these filling-in mechanisms, revealing the active construction underlying what seems like passive observation. We don't see reality directly. We see the brain's best interpretation, its most useful fiction, the story it tells about what's out there based on limited sensory input and experience. Night's creative gift. As we move towards sleep, toward that nightly dissolution of waking consciousness, it's worth reflecting on what happens in those mysterious hours of rest. Sleep is not merely absence of consciousness, but a different form of consciousness, one that performs crucial work. During sleep, the brain reprocesses the day's experiences, consolidating important memories, discarding trivial ones, and making space for tomorrow's learning. It solves problems that stumped us during waking hours, making unexpected connections that lead to insights and breakthroughs. Many great discoveries have come through dreams. Kekulé's vision of the benzene ring as a snake biting its tail, Mendeleev's organization of the periodic table, Paul McCartney's melody for Yesterday. The dreaming mind works differently from the waking one, freed from linear logic, able to make leaps and connections that conscious thought might dismiss as illogical. This is why the advice to sleep on it before making important decisions carries wisdom. The unconscious mind continues working, processing information we've consciously set aside, sometimes delivering solutions in the morning that seemed impossible the night before. And teaching others, it turns out, is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen our own memory and understanding. When we prepare to explain something to another person, we must organize our knowledge clearly, anticipate questions, and identify gaps in our understanding. This active processing creates deeper encoding than passive review. It transforms vague familiarity into precise knowledge, highlights what we don't yet fully grasp, and creates multiple pathways to the information. This is why study groups work, why tutoring benefits the tutor as much as the student, why explaining concepts aloud, even to an empty room, improves retention. Small acts of attention. Even doodling, that seemingly mindless activity, serves a useful function. Far from indicating boredom or disengagement, doodling during lectures or meetings actually helps maintain attention. The brain requires a certain level of stimulation to stay focused. In understimulating environments, the mind wanders. Doodling provides just enough sensory engagement to keep the wandering at bay without distracting from the primary task. It occupies the restless parts of attention, allowing the rest to focus on what matters. So the student sketching in the margins may be more engaged than the one sitting perfectly still. The meeting attendee filling their notepad with abstract patterns may retain more than the one with an empty page. Sometimes what looks like a distraction is actually a strategy for focus. And once again, smiling, that simple facial gesture, returns as a tool for shifting internal state. The act of smiling activates brain pathways that release mood-lifting chemicals even when the smile isn't prompted by genuine happiness. The body leads, and the mind follows. This doesn't mean forcing cheer when grief or anger is appropriate, but it suggests that in neutral or mildly negative states, the choice to smile, to open the face and body, can nudge us toward better feelings. The feedback loop between expression and emotion flows both ways. The layered experience of music. Music offers another window into consciousness's complexity. When we listen to a song, we don't hear it as a single unified thing but as layers, melody, harmony, rhythm, lyrics if present, and emotional associations from past experiences with that music. The brain weaves these threads together into a rich experience that is simultaneously sensory, emotional, and cognitive. Music can make us move without conscious decision. It can trigger vivid memories. It can alter our mood within seconds. This is why music has been central to human culture across all societies and eras. It speaks to something fundamental in how our minds process experience, how we find meaning and connection, how we navigate emotional landscapes. And just as music creates layered experiences, our social nature creates layered memories. Gossip and storytelling remain far more memorable than neutral facts because they engage our interest in social dynamics, in character and motivation, in the human drama that has always been central to survival and thriving. We remember stories about people, their triumphs and failures, their choices and consequences, far better than abstract information. This is why good teachers frame lessons as narratives, why effective leaders tell stories rather than citing statistics, and why we learn morality through fables and parables rather than logical proofs. The human mind is built for story. Facts that connect to human meaning stick. Those that don't, fade away. Reframing reality. Cognitive reappraisal. The practice of mentally reframing challenging situations to find different perspectives, stands as one of our most powerful tools for managing stress and building resilience. When we face difficulty, we can interpret it as a catastrophe or as a challenge, as evidence of our inadequacy, or as an opportunity for growth. The objective circumstances remain the same, but our experience transforms based on the frame we choose. This is not about denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. Rather, it's about recognizing that most situations admit multiple interpretations, and the interpretation we choose shapes our emotional response and our capacity to cope effectively. Someone who views a job loss as devastating shame may spiral into depression. Someone who views the same event as a chance to pursue a path they'd been too afraid to try may feel liberated. Neither response is wrong, but they lead to very different outcomes. Developing skill in cognitive reappraisal means cultivating mental flexibility, the ability to step back from initial reactions and ask what other perspectives might be valid. It's a learnable skill, one that builds with practice, and it offers profound benefits for navigating life's inevitable difficulties. The tired mind's creativity. There's something paradoxical about exhaustion and creativity. When we're well rested and sharp, we excel at focused analytical thinking. But when we're slightly tired, when mental filters loosen and concentration wanes, we sometimes access a different kind of intelligence. A mildly fatigued brain makes unusual connections, wanders down paths the disciplined mind might dismiss as irrelevant. This state can enhance divergent thinking, the ability to generate multiple solutions, to see problems from fresh angles, to stumble upon insights that linear logic would never reach. Many writers and artists deliberately work in the early morning or late at night, seeking that threshold state where consciousness softens and the unexpected becomes possible. The tired mind permits strangeness, for ideas that don't immediately make sense but might contain hidden wisdom. This doesn't mean exhaustion is preferable to rest. Chronic sleep deprivation damages health and cognition. But it suggests that different mental states have different gifts, that the sharp focus we prize isn't always optimal, that sometimes loosening our grip on control opens doors. Group dynamics, too, can suppress or enhance individual insight. When group consensus forms strongly, dissenting voices often fall silent even when they hold valuable perspectives. The desire to belong, to not disrupt harmony, can overwhelm the impulse to share contrarian thoughts. Recognizing this pattern in ourselves and others allows us to create spaces where diverse viewpoints can emerge. This might mean explicitly inviting disagreement, taking time for individual reflection before group discussion, or designating someone to play devil's advocate. The goal is not conflict for its own sake, but rather accessing the full range of wisdom present in the group rather than settling for the first consensus that appears. The echo chamber of repetition. Repetition shapes belief in subtle but powerful ways. When we encounter the same statement repeatedly, in news headlines, social media posts, conversations, we begin to perceive it as more credible simply through familiarity. This is called the illusory truth effect, and it operates largely outside conscious awareness. We mistake the ease of processing familiar statements for evidence of their accuracy. Something feels true because we've heard it before, not because we've verified it. This phenomenon has obvious implications in our information-saturated age, where claims can circulate widely regardless of accuracy. It suggests the critical importance of fact-checking, of pausing to ask not "have I heard this before?" but rather what evidence supports or contradicts this claim. Awareness of the illusory truth effect doesn't make us immune to it, but it can make us more cautious, more willing to question even comfortable assumptions, more humble about the certainty we feel. Reading faces. Among the brain's many specialized systems, few are more crucial than those dedicated to facial recognition. We possess brain regions specifically tuned to detecting and interpreting faces, systems that activate in infants within hours of birth. This reflects the central importance of social interaction throughout human evolution. Faces convey vast amounts of information: identity, emotion, intention, health, mood. Being able to quickly and accurately read faces meant better navigation of social hierarchies, more successful cooperation, and improved detection of threats and opportunities. The speed of facial processing is remarkable. The brain evaluates a face in less than 100 milliseconds, forming impressions of trustworthiness, competence, and attractiveness before conscious thought engages. These snap judgments activate the amygdala, the brain's threat detection system, guiding immediate intuitive responses. This rapid assessment can be useful, helping us respond quickly to social cues and potential dangers. But it can also introduce bias, leading us to make unfair assumptions based on superficial features, to trust or distrust without adequate information. Recognizing that our first impressions form this quickly, and often this superficially, might inspire us to hold them more lightly, to remain open to information that contradicts initial reactions, to give people chances to reveal who they are beyond that first 100 millisecond snapshot. The subtle language of gesture. Beyond facial expressions, we communicate through countless small gestures and postural adjustments. When we engage in conversation, we unconsciously mirror each other's movements. Leaning forward when they lean forward, crossing legs when they cross legs, matching energy and effect. This non-verbal mirroring happens automatically among people who feel connected and serves to deepen that connection. It's both a sign of rapport and a creator of it, a feedback loop where unconscious synchronization generates feelings of understanding and trust. Those skilled in communication often use mirroring intentionally, subtly matching their conversation partner's body language to build a connection. But even without conscious technique, we all do this naturally with people we like and feel comfortable with. The body knows things the conscious mind hasn't yet articulated. When we feel ourselves mirroring someone, it may indicate a genuine connection. When mirroring doesn't occur naturally, it may signal distance or discomfort worth exploring. And throughout life, the brain's neuroplasticity continues, enabling adaptation and recovery. People who have suffered strokes can sometimes regain lost functions as other brain regions take over tasks the damaged areas once performed. Those who lose one sense often develop enhanced abilities in others as the brain reallocates resources. This flexibility means that challenges and losses need not define us permanently. The brain seeks workarounds, builds new pathways, and adapts to changed circumstances with remarkable creativity. We are more resilient than we often imagine, more capable of growth and change throughout the entire lifespan. The inner universe. Consciousness and memory together create the continuous sense of self we call identity. We are not just present moment awareness, but the accumulated story of everything we've experienced, everyone we've been, every choice we've made. This creates a paradox. We feel like unified, continuous selves, yet we change constantly. The person you are today shares some continuity with who you were a decade ago, but you've also changed in countless ways. Cells replaced, beliefs revised, relationships transformed, and knowledge acquired. So which is the true view, that you are a stable self moving through time, or that you are a process, a river that seems continuous but is never the same water twice? Perhaps both perspectives hold truth. Perhaps identity is simultaneously continuity and change, the stable pattern in the flowing stream. Reflecting on our thoughts and dreams, on the vast unconscious processes that shape conscious experience, reveals the mind's astounding complexity. Beneath every thought we're aware of lie countless processes we'll never consciously access. The visual processing that lets us see, the language centers that let us speak, the memory systems that give us history, the emotional regulators that keep us balanced. We are like icebergs, with the vast bulk of mental activity occurring beneath awareness's surface. Consciousness is a thin layer atop depths we can barely fathom. Yet it's in that thin layer that we experience meaning, make choices, find beauty, build connections, and create the substance of our lives. The gift of presence. In this exploration through psychology's gentle territory, we've touched on so many facets of experience. How memory works and fails, how groups shape individuals, how bodies and minds converse, how perception constructs reality, how simple practices can shift emotions. But perhaps the deepest insight is simply this. To be human is to be complex, to contain multitudes, to be simultaneously rational and emotional, conscious and unconscious, connected and individual, stable and changing. Understanding this complexity might inspire compassion, for ourselves when we struggle, for others when they confuse us, for the shared challenge of being conscious creatures navigating a complex world with imperfect tools. And it might inspire curiosity, to keep exploring, keep learning, keep noticing the subtle workings of mind and behavior that surround us constantly. Every interaction offers a chance to observe psychology in action. Every quiet moment an opportunity to notice our own mental processes. The mind remains, in many ways, the deepest mystery, not because we lack knowledge, but because the instrument we use to know is also the thing we're trying to know. Consciousness examining itself, awareness aware of being aware, the strange loop at the heart of existence. As this exploration draws to a close, as your own consciousness prepares to shift into sleep's different mode, let yourself feel the wonder of simply being aware. You are a process, a pattern, a story unfolding moment by moment. You are neurons firing in intricate choreography, chemicals creating emotion, electrical impulses becoming thought. You are also more than that, a person with history and hopes, with relationships and meaning, with the capacity to reflect on your own existence and find it beautiful, puzzling, profound. Tomorrow, you'll wake up and continue your exploration, learning more about yourself and others as you navigate the endless complexity of the human experience. But for now, in this moment, let understanding settle into simple presence. Let curiosity give way to peace. Your mind has worked hard today, processing countless stimuli, making decisions, managing emotions, and maintaining the coherent sense of self that carries you through the world. Now it needs rest, the opportunity to consolidate, to dream, to prepare for tomorrow's challenges and joys. So let yourself drift, secure in the knowledge that you are a remarkable thing, a living mind, aware and feeling, thinking and sensing, part of the great human experiment in consciousness. Sleep well, dear listener. Let these reflections accompany you gently into rest. And know that whenever you seek wonder, whenever you want to explore the quiet mysteries of existence, the sleepy scholar will be here, ready to wander with you through knowledge's peaceful terrain. Thank you for taking the time to be curious and calm. Until we meet again in the space between waking and dreaming, rest easy. The universe continues its work, and you can simply be.